NCP rushing now. The NCP rushing. Remember, Uddhav Thackeray said on his live address to the state that it was Pawar who was instrumental in really giving him the support, encouragement to become chief minister and accept the position. He wasn't really interested. He put that on Pawar. Pawar now rushing to Uddhav Thackeray's residence saying, don't let the side down. Do whatever it takes. But viewers, if Shinde says that he has nothing more to do with the Shiv Sena, all of this is not going to matter. The only salvation is to call Shinde's bluff, expel the Shiv Sena MLAs, and then hold a floor test. That's the only other option left. I want to open this up. 30 seconds. I'm coming right back to you, Arunil. I just want to get a quick soundbite in from Sanjay Dwivedi, leader of the Shiv Sena, Shekhar Iyer, Shantanu Gupta, Varun Singh and Dr. Shankar Guha. Sanjay Dwivedi, there is a fast playing out. Uddhav Thackeray goes on television. Uddhav Thackeray साहब टीवी पे जाते हैं और वो कहते हैं कि भाई मैं जानता हूं कि मेरी सरकार लड़खड़ा रही है, कि मेरे एमएलए गुवाहाटी में बैठे हैं और वो अभी भी सत्ता से वो अटैच्ड है इतने, ही इज क्लिंगिंग ऑन टू पावर।
नहीं, इसको आप इस तरह से मत लीजिए। जब संगठन का जब बनाया था माननीय बाला साहब ठाकरे ने 1966 में, तो इसको पार्टी का नाम नहीं दिया था, इसको सेना का नाम दिया था उन्होंने, शिव सेना, जो शिवाजी के आदर्शों पे चल रही है। और इसमें अनुशासन की जो अनुशासन वाली बात है, सबसे ज्यादा अनुशासन आज शिवसेना में है। जो ये रिवेंज हुआ है, जो हमारे शिंदे जी, उन्होंने जो साफ बात कही, मैं भी सुन रहा था पूरा उनका फेसबुक पे, उन्होंने एक बात कही कि अगर कोई कष्ट था आपको तो आप मुझसे कहते, या किसी विधायक को कोई कष्ट था मुझसे कहते।
जब उनके विधायक, when his own MLAs have lost faith and trust in Uddhav Thackeray, जब उनके विधायक ही उनको ट्रस्ट नहीं कर रहे तो जनता क्यों करे? सिंपल सा सवाल है सर। मैंडेट का मखौल बना रहे हैं आप।
नहीं, मखौल नहीं बना रहे, इसको मखौल आप ना कहिए, ये शब्द अच्छा नहीं है। ये विधायकों में नाराजगी हो सकती है, किसी पार्टी के विधायकों में नाराजगी हो सकती है, लेकिन इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि हम जनता के संग कोई मखौल उड़ा रहे हैं। अगर जनता से मखौल उड़ाना होता तो शायद एनसीपी और कांग्रेस समर्थन करके हम सरकार नहीं बनाते, छोड़ दिया होता ऐसे। जो बीजेपी ने सोचा था कि सरकार तो दोबारा चुनाव, तो हमने ये नहीं किया। कॉमन मिनिमम।
शांतनु गुप्ता, हाउ डू यू रिएक्ट टू द शिवसेना लीडर टुडे? शांतनु गुप्ता, यस, 1 मिनट सर। संजय द्विवेदी जी सुनिए, शांतनु गुप्ता जी की बात सुनिए। शांतनु गुप्ता, यस।
I think Rahul, finally, Uddhav is tasting the taste of his own medicine, finally, right? You see, betrayals and backstabbing is not uncommon to politics, but what Uddhav Thackeray and Shiv Sena did in 2019 is like the low which you cannot go bottom to. He betrayed BJP, he betrayed Shiv Sena's ideology, and he betrayed his own father's ideology. And I think now he's tasting his own medicine. And the way the government is being run in last 2.5 years, I'm sure it's a classic case of how a government should not be run. From Palghar to your police chief absconding to Anil Deshmukh, your 2 ministers are under arrest. You are capturing, you are breaking the house of Bollywood people. You are taking a journalist to jail. If Hanuman Chalisa can't be sing, I mean, it's a classic case how a government should not be run. And finally, the karma is catching on.
How a government should not be run? Well, if the government is flailing, viewers, if it is imploding on its own self, if its own MLAs, especially the Shiv Sena MLAs, have lost faith in their own chief minister, then that becomes doubly problematic. Let me go across to Varun Singh, senior journalist. Varun Singh.
You know, द्विवेदी जी, आपने कहा कि कोई एमएलए बोल देता आके, पर सबसे बड़ा जो चीज खुद उद्धव जी ने अपने भाषण में कहा कि he wasn't accessible. MLAs, the biggest grouse that any MLA, may it be from the ruling alliance, Shiv Sena and especially Congress, they have is that the CM was never accessible to them. He would not meet them. So kahan jaake bolenge, kab jaake bolenge? And you know, Rahul, while you were talking to Deepak Kesarkar, you went, he clearly hinted that मैं अभी गुवाहाटी में नहीं हूँ, मैं मुंबई में बैठा हूँ. And Deepak Kesarkar also said that he has expressed the MLAs have already told what they want to Uddhav, and now Uddhav has to decide whether he is going to stay or go. So let me tell you, many MLAs over here also right now in Mumbai, who are going for the meeting or who are in Mumbai, they also are, their heart is in Guwahati, not in Mumbai. And
heart is in Guwahati, not in Mumbai. We're going to go across to Guwahati in just a few moments. I want to go straight back to Arunil. Arunil, describe what's happening. Many more cars entering that residence now. Who has landed up? What is expected? Go ahead, Arunil. Yes. Okay, I don't think we have Arunil right now. We're trying to get to the latest pictures from outside Varsha, viewers. Those are the pictures that are coming in, of course. We are being told that Sharad Pawar, Padmaja, Sharad Pawar now rushing. It was an anticipated step on his part. Uddhav coming out and making it very clear that he was instrumental in actually convincing him to take on the chief minister's job. So what's really happening? This is turning into a bit of a farce.
You know, it's very, very interesting. Everything that Uddhav Thackeray said today, there was one basic question he did not answer, Rahul, which is that Eknath Shinde and group are saying it is antithetical to the very idea of the Shiv Sena to continue in alliance with the NCP and the Congress. If you see the resolution that has been signed by 23 MLAs, or 34, pardon me, MLAs of the Shiv Sena, they say that we are being damaged. We are an ideologically strong party and we are being damaged by this alliance. Uddhav Thackeray spoke about Hindutva. Uddhav Thackeray said, I'm going to give up the chief minister's post, the chief minister's residence, if you so want. But he did not answer the key question, Varun Singh. And the key question remains, will he continue in this alliance? Can he continue in this alliance? Shantanu Gupta.
I think, to my mind, I think it's all. I was just wondering why the whole flock of Shiv Sena is still together. How they're able to digest that? A party like Shiv Sena able to digest that you can't recite Hanuman Chalisa in Balasaheb Thackeray's Maharashtra. How you can't even properly celebrate Dahi Handi. I was just wondering why it took so late for Shiv Sainik, who are true Shiv Sainiks of Balasaheb Thackeray, to wait this long. So I think I was, and many others were just waiting for this. I think it just took too long for them to revolt.
All right, let me take this across to Sanjay Dwivedi. Sanjay Dwivedi, कैसे वोटर को आंख में आंख मिला करके देखेंगे? एकनाथ शिंदे तो ये कह रहे हैं कि हम जाएंगे 2 साल बाद वोटरों के पास. कैसे जाएंगे? क्या कह के जाएंगे? सैनिक बोल के जाएंगे? कांग्रेस के एलाय बोल के जाएंगे? क्या बोल के जाएंगे?
पूरी बात मेरे का सुन ले आप, तो आपको समझ में आ जाएगा. 2014 में भी हम अलग चुनाव लड़े थे, गठबंधन करके दोबारा फिर हम बीजेपी टाइम में गठबंधन करके चुनाव लड़ा. कोई दिक्कत है? आज बिहार का स्थिति देखिए, जिनका डीएनए टेस्ट हो रहा था, डीएनए टेस्ट करा रहे थे माननीय नीतीश कुमार जी का, भारतीय जनता पार्टी वाले, और उनके साथ जब आरजेडी और जेडीयू सरकार चल रही थी, गिरा के उन्होंने अपनी सरकार बना ली. दोबारा चुनाव में गए, वे चुन के नहीं आए क्या? हाँ, जेडीयू सीटें कम हो गई, बहुत मान सकते हैं, लेकिन आज उनको मुख्यमंत्री बना दिया. तो जो ये पेट में दर्द हो रहा है भारतीय जनता पार्टी के, मैं आपसे कह रहा हूँ, जो माननीय उद्धव ठाकरे जी ने जो बात कही है वो दिल से कही है. ये शिवसैनिक ही ऐसी बात कह सकता है. शिवसेना के अलावा
द्विवेदी जी, आपकी आवाज भी थोड़ी डगमगा रही है, जितना अभी शिवसेना डगमगा रही है. हम थोड़ा रिकनेक्ट करेंगे आपसे. इन द मीन टाइम, लेट्स जस्ट लिसन इन फॉर दोज हु आर जॉइनिंग इन राइट नाउ. देयर वर सम वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एंड इंटरेस्टिंग things that Uddhav Thackeray said, but there were more things that he left unsaid. Listen to a few excerpts of his Facebook address and then we'll come back.
कारण का तरी शिवसेना बाळासाहेबांची शिवसेना राहिली नाही असं काही जे आरोप करतायत त्याला सुद्धा माझ्याकडे उत्तर आहे. माझ्याकडे उत्तर आहे. ज्या शिवसैनिकांना असं वाटत असेल की मी शिवसेनेचं नेतृत्व करायला नालायक आहे, चला मला सांगा, मी हेही पद सोडायला तयार आहे. मी शिवसेना पक्षप्रमुख पद पण सोडायला तयार आहे. पण हे सांगणारा विरोधक नाही, नाहीतर असे फडतूस लोक खूप आहेत. त्यांच्या सांगण्यावरून किंवा त्यांच्या त्या काय ते ट्रेंडिंग ट्रोलिंग ट्विटर फिटर ह्याच्यासाठी मी काय त्यांना मी बांधलेलं नाहीये. मी माझ्या शिवसैनिकाला बांधले आणि सुद्धा या भानगडीत पडणार नाहीये, कारण तो फेस टू फेस संकटाला सामोरं जाणारा शिवसैनिक आहे. म्हणून त्यांनी सांगावं, मी दोन्ही पद सोडायला तयार आहे, पण मी मुख्यमंत्री पद सोडल्यानंतर जर शिवसेनेचा मुख्यमंत्री होत असेल मला आनंदाने मान्य आहे. माझ्याच लोकांना जर मी मुख्यमंत्रीपदी नको असेल तर काय करायचं, हा मोलाचा प्रश्न आहे. तुम्ही इथे येऊन बोलायला काय हरकत होती? सुरतला जाऊन बोलण्यापेक्षा, आणखीन कुठेतरी जाऊन बोलण्यापेक्षा सरळ समोर यायचं आणि सांगायचं की उद्धवजी तुम्ही कारभार करायला नालायक आहात, हे कोविडच्या काळातले टॉप 5 वगैरे सोडून द्या, आम्हाला तुम्ही मुख्यमंत्रीपदी नको. ठीक आहे, चला मी उठतो. आणि आज सुद्धा मी तुम्हाला सांगतो, जर त्याच्यापैकी एकाही आमदाराने समोर येऊन मला सांगितलं किंवा जर त्यांनी स्टेटमेंट दिलं की उद्धव ठाकरे मुख्यमंत्री पदावरती नकोत, तर मी आत्ता मुख्यमंत्री पदाचा राजीनामा द्यायला तयार आहे. आणि ह्याच्यावरती विश्वास नसेल तर आज आपली फेसबुक लाईव्ह झाल्यानंतर आज संध्याकाळपासून मी माझा मुक्काम वर्षावरनं मातोश्रीला हलवत आहे.
All right, news just coming in. Press conference is going to be addressed by Eknath Shinde at 7 p.m. It is quite clear from the tone and tenor of the resolution, the letter that was sent earlier by rebel MLAs, that they are not in any mood to try and negotiate with the Chief Minister. But remember, that letter was drafted and sent before Uddhav Thackeray's emotional speech. Varun Singh, do you think there is any possibility that they could agree to the outreach? Uddhav Thackeray, interestingly, almost offered the CM's post to Shinde, saying, I will move out of Matoshri, but you come and speak to me. I'll move out of Varsha, to Matoshri. Varun Singh.
I really find it very emotional to an extent that many others, and especially many Shivsainik would have. But, Sena and Shivsena had almost, the Sainiks on the ground whomsoever had spoken, even people who are very close to Uddhav, working in Matoshri and other places, they also had made their mind that probably he would resign and he would step down, and whatever is happening, it will continue, he will go away, and what was expected didn't happen. And it has led to a lot of confusion over here, even amongst many Shivsainiks. As I was telling Rahul Shishankar, while he was talking to Deepak Kesarkar, if you see what Deepak Kesarkar said, it's clear that the MLAs have conveyed what they want. And the number of people who are reaching Varsha right now, if you see, they are more of NCP than the Shivsena, because NCP wants this government to stay because they are the one who have gained a lot from this government, but Sena and Congress haven't. And it was clearly visible in the MLC polls also, where NCP got more votes than the number it has. And Sena, as Shantanu rightly pointed out, the Hindutva ideology. Listen, Eknath Shinde comes from an area called Thane. Eknath Shinde has been counting on his votes because of the Hindutva ideology for all these years. He have been continuously presenting Thane and that Kopri area for 15 long years without any halt, only because he comes from a party that to that particular one agenda and ideology of Hindutva. But when the party stays silent on the Palghar Sadhu, the party stays silent when, there are hoardings in Delhi, not Savarkar, but Rahul Gandhi. And this is the party that would go on with Samna front page that if anyone abuses Savarkar, we are going to bash them up. And now it remains silent. How do you expect Eknath Shinde to win the Thane Municipal Corporation with an alliance like this? He knows that the value, the election machinery of Shivsena right now is so low that they wouldn't be able to win elections in the
It's
future.
interesting you mentioned Thane, because even as we speak, these posters have gone up in Thane of Bal Thackeray on one side, and you have Eknath Shinde in the middle and Mr. Dige, his guru in politics, on the other side. So there is no Uddhav Thackeray, there is Aditya Thackeray in these posters, Anand Dige, pardon me. On one side, you have Bala Sahib on one side and you have Eknath Shinde in the middle. And it says that you are our real chief minister. When you are saying that this is all about ideology, what do you mean? Are you saying that Shiv Sena is going to go back, Uddhav Thackeray is going to go back to BJP, or that more Sena MLAs are going to desert him wholesale? What exactly is Uddhav Thackeray going to achieve by holding on right now? Varun Singh.
More of the Sena MLAs are deserting the party right now. I am telling you, there are many people sitting over here, as I said, the heart lies in Guwahati right now, while their body is over here. And not only that, ideology is something based on which Sena has won so many elections.
Okay.
Sena cannot move beyond ideology. They have seen what is happening in other areas. In spite of they putting a joint candidate in Pandharpur, BJP won. In spite of the three parties coming together, one Rajya Sabha, they have won MLC polls, and this is clearly any person who's in politics can see what the mood of common public in Maharashtra and Mumbai is, and any person who's sitting here in Mumbai knows what will be the outcome of BMC elections if this alliance continues for the Sena. Last election, BJP and Sena were neck to neck. This time the BJP might snatch it away, and I'm sure, I'm telling you, I've covered Sena for such a long time. They wouldn't want to lose BMC.
Okay, so this is not just about a battle of existence and the core ideology and the core voter of the Sena, but more material concerns right now, which is the impending elections to the BMC. Please stay with me, gentlemen. Shantanu Gupta, I'll just come back to you. But on this story of the posters that have gone up of Eknath Shinde, Arunil, what are the insiders telling you? What exactly is the game plan for now? From the general demeanor of Uddhav Thackeray, it seemed quite clear he knows he doesn't have the numbers. So what next?
Well, Padmaja, the real question is whether Eknath Shinde camp also has the number, because the magical number for them is 37. Now, we have seen the letter which Eknath Shinde's camp has floated. The 34 MLAs had signed in that. One MLA has already returned to his home, so it becomes 33. Now, we understand that 3 of those MLAs are independent MLAs. Bachchu Kadu's name is also a part of it. Bachchu Kadu is an independent MLA, not a part of the Shiv Sena. So, basically, to get that 2/3 majority within the 55 MLAs that Shiv Sena has, it becomes extremely difficult. It becomes difficult for the Eknath Shinde camp as well. They will need the magical figure of 37. And that is why, that is the only reason why the BJP has not jumped into the fray. Devendra Fadnavis, whatever he's been orchestrating, whatever he's been doing, that is all behind the curtains, not exactly into the spotlight. So Eknath Shinde's numbers will also be extremely paramount. What he says at 7 p.m. will be very crucial. Yes. With respect to Uddhav Thackeray, CM Uddhav Thackeray, he has defended, but one can say that he has defended well. He has made a kind of an appeal to his party workers by not removing his MLAs directly. And whatever will be the response from his MLAs, accordingly only CM Uddhav Thackeray will react now. And to his aid is now Sharad Pawar, the veteran politician, who had basically stitched this unnatural alliance of ideologically different political parties. Now, yes, the ball is clearly in the court of Eknath Shinde camp, whatever they decide, because Eknath Shinde, he may be solely wanting to separate from Uddhav Thackeray's camp, but whether all the other MLAs are completely willing and ready to do it, that is also a big point of question that arises over here. And why hasn't Devendra Fadnavis or the BJP openly come into the picture till now? When they come into the picture openly, then only... But there is a meeting happening at Devendra Fadnavis' house, isn't there, Radhika? What's being discussed there?
That's right. That's right. There had been back-to-back meetings inside Devendra Fadnavis' residence. There are several top leaders of the BJP here, be it Ashish Shelar, be it Darekar, be it Mangal Prabhat Lodha. Many MLAs had been going and getting out of the residence as well since morning. So, as far as Devendra Fadnavis' camp is concerned, as far as BJP is concerned, they are waiting and watching, because as Arunil was pointing out, they do not want to jump the ship. They do not want to jump the gun simply because of what happened 2.5 years ago, when the entire Ajit Pawar Devendra Fadnavis episode happened and Fadnavis had to give in that resignation within no time. So that is something they don't want a repeat of. They want to see the numbers before they really jump the gun. So now, of course, what they are, there are a series of interactions happening with the MLAs. They are trying to tell them to keep themselves safe, to make sure that they are not being poached. Okay,
I think there's something happening there where Arunil is standing at Varsha. Over to you, Arunil.
Well, this was a Shiv Sena leader Vaibhav Naik, who had come over here, he's basically heading to the residence of CM Uddhav Thackeray. In fact, there is a meeting that has been held at CM Uddhav Thackeray's residence, wherein Sharad Pawar has reached. His daughter Supriya Sue is also inside, along with Jitendra Awad. We also understand that Ajit Pawar has called in a meeting of the NCP MLAs tomorrow. So NCP also keeping their cards close to their chest. One can say Sharad Pawar till now had not openly entered into this fight or fray, one can say. But now he has made an entry at CM Uddhav Thackeray's residence. So he has joined the fight officially. Now what transpires, it will be extremely interesting, because who would have imagined that Eknath Shinde, one of the close confidants of CM Uddhav Thackeray, he will leave the city of Mumbai along with more than 30 plus MLAs of the Shiv Senas. Yes, the numbers may not be with CM Uddhav Thackeray, but Eknath Shinde's camp also needs that magical figure of 37, and also obviously the support of Devendra Fadnavis and the BJP. So what are the legal technicalities? We in fact spoke to senior jurist Mukul Rohatgi just a while ago. We will explain to our viewers what the legal options are, and they are frankly not that complicated. But before that, I want to go across to the Congress leader who is here with us, Dr. Shankar Guha. Dr. Guha, for how many days? Because most people now believe it's not about if, it's a question of when.
The biggest point to be noted here is Padmaja, the BJP is a pro at this Operation Kamala or the Operation Lotus. Let me tell you, 2008 it started in Karnataka, 2016 Uttarakhand, 2017 Goa, 2019 again Karnataka, 2020 a successful attempt in Madhya Pradesh, and again an unsuccessful attempt in Rajasthan. So breaking the party, they are a pro at it. They could probably, begin a university at this. One has to note, the people of this country have to note this. How is it that these MLAs are chartering around the whole country, flip-flopping, flying, lavishly, spending their days in lavish resorts? Who's funding all this? And this whole cry of Hindutva... You could ask DK Shivkumar, he's from your party, you are in the same city.
DK Shivkumar knows the answer to that better than perhaps anyone else. But anyway, on a more serious note, can we come back to my question?
No, BJP knows the answer best to this. BJP knows the answer. Of course. No, allow me to complete. When the National Conference and the PDP was part of the NDA, then there was no Hindutva cry. So this is nothing but an attempt from the BJP to dismantle this whole system. And I am sure, and I am very hopeful also, that I spoke to some of my friends in Maharashtra. They are very hopeful that Eknath Shinde ji and his camp will return back. And I was just seeing in your channel, Mr. Uddhav Thackeray has sent a very courageous message and invited them over. We are very hopeful that they will come back.
It's a courageous message that Uddhav Thackeray has given.
Of course, he's been courageous.
No, that's to Shantanu Gupta.
He's been handling the situation quite well, and he's waiting. He's given him his message. His message is quite clear.
It's not just one about courage, it's also about tyag, where Uddhav Thackeray is saying, I'm willing to give it all up for the cause of Hindutva, for the great good of the country and democracy and secularism. Come, take Varsha. Shantanu Gupta.
I think he's just buying time. He's just sensing which way it will turn out in maybe a couple of hours or a couple of days. I think where was he when Rahul Gandhi was putting posters against Savarkar? Where was he when Palghar Sadhus were lynched and he was mum? Where was he when his police commissioner of Mumbai was absconding, his ministers are in jail? The way he ran the government, everyone knows. As I told before, is a classic case of how to not run a government. And I think in politics, betrayals are heard, but how he betrayed BJP 2.5 years back, he's now tasting his own medicine. So I think karma is catching on. I think we were just wondering why it took so long for Shiv Sainiks, the true Shiv Sainiks, the Bala Sahib Shiv Sainiks, how it took so long for them to feel the guilt of how the way Uddhav Thackeray was not only not bending to Sonia Gandhi, he was just bichod in front of Sonia Gandhi. I think that was traumatic for many of us who liked Shiv Sena, the way Shiv Sena operated in the Bala Sahib Thackeray days. I think it was always said that Uddhav Thackeray is anyway not a true descendant of the Balasaheb Thackeray legacy. Was it Raj Thackeray or was it someone else? I don't know. But the way Uddhav Thackeray conducted himself when he got the power, it was literally like
okay,
shameless.
In 10 minutes from now, we are likely to hear from the rebel faction also, which is going to speak in Guwahati. But the bigger story is that what we are being told is that more MLAs have gone from Mumbai to Surat. Surat, they are at a resort. From Surat, they'll be coming to Guwahati, or have they already reached there? Nibir, what can you tell us?
We are waiting outside the Radisson gates because there is going to be a media interaction by the dissenting MLAs. However, there has been no movement inside as of now in the last 1 hour because there are no cars that are coming inside. There is security here, and soon we are going to be invited, or one of the representatives may come out here and ask us to give a bite here. So there has been not any movement so far in terms of any MLAs coming inside the hotel. However, we saw few of the other security personnel as well as BJP leaders in the morning entering the Radisson Hotel. In the last few hours there has no movement, there is only speculation, but soon all of this will be cleared as we are going to have an interaction with the Shinde front as well as Mr. Shinde himself.
All right, Eknath Shinde is going to speak in just another 10 minutes from now. So let me ask the leader from the Shiv Sena, is there even the faintest possibility, because we keep circling back only to one question, Sanjay Dwivedi, कि हिंदुत्व के मामले पे आपने साथ में चुनाव तो लड़ाई था बीजेपी के, वापस कहिए कि भाई जनता यही चाहती है, सैनिक यही चाहते हैं। आपके खुद के जो सांसद हैं भावना गावली, उन्होंने भी आज चिट्ठी लिख करके कहा है कि देखिए जब हिंदुत्व की बात आती है तो दिल से निकलती है बात, तो क्या वापस दोस्ती हो सकती है?
एनडीए में जो इसमें केंद्र सरकार चल रही है, कितने जो दल जुड़े हुए हैं वो हिंदुत्ववादी हैं। कितने नीतीश कुमार जी तो उन्होंने स्पष्ट कह दिया कि सर हनुमान चालीसा पढ़ना है, कुछ छोड़ो, हम लाउड स्पीकर रहवाएंगे। बीजेपी ने क्या किया उनके लिए? महाराष्ट्र में जो नाटक मचाया था बीजेपी ने, 2 लोगों के कहने से, माननीय राज ठाकरे और जो एमपी साहब थी, लेकिन उन्होंने बिहार के तो मुख्यमंत्री सीधे से मना कर दिया कि सब लाउड स्पीकर हमने। जो बात है हिंदुत्व की बात कह रही है, हिंदुत्व दिखावे का होता है क्या? हिंदुत्व बीजेपी की बात है क्या? हिंदुत्व की बात नहीं है। हिंदुत्व तो पूरे हमारे छत्तीसगढ़ जनता आपका हिंदुत्व नहीं है क्या? आप बता दीजिए मुझे।
नहीं, हमारा नहीं है। मैं तो ये नहीं कह रही, इनफैक्ट मैं तो कह रही हूँ कि ये शिवसेना का एक ट्रेडमार्क हुआ करता था, और खुद शिव सैनिक आज कह रहे हैं कि वो ट्रेडमार्क जो है धूमिल होता जा रहा है।
किसने शिवसेना ने कहा? मुझे पता नहीं। एकनाथ शिंदे को जो सरकार बनी थी तो उस समय उन्होंने लीडर माननीय मुख्यमंत्री को चुना था ना।
What you said, Padmaja, that is what exactly I was gonna tell Mr. Dwivedi, that forget BJP. Where is BJP coming in over here? BJP has nothing to do with what is happening. It is the Shiv Sainiks who are asking, what happened to Hindutva? It is the Shiv Sainiks who are asking. These MLAs, rebel, are Shiv Sena MLAs. And I'm telling you, I just saw footage of Pratap Sarnaik in the bus. I don't know where it is. Pratap Sarnaik is an MLA from Sena and from Thane area and pretty close to Eknath Shinde. If he's in Mumbai, then I am telling you, his heart and everything, soul, everything is with Mr. Shinde in Guwahati, and he would be amongst the top rung leaders who stand with Shinde in the future if the need comes to. And I'm telling you honestly, again and again, it would have been a very befitting response if Uddhav have resigned today and would have given. Let the NCP and Congress handle it. Anyway, the Congress and NCP sidelined themselves yesterday when Sena was battling all this all alone. Today, when they saw, as I say, and as your reporters over there are standing, you see most of the NCP MLAs, NCP leaders wanting to save this government. And I repeat it again and again, that NCP wants this government to be there because it is NCP which is gaining the most. And talking about Dighe, I would just take one more minute. Anand Dighe, when Anand Dighe left, there was a huge void. And Eknath Shinde was the only person who could fill it and retain that entire thing in not just Thane. I don't know why we only want to talk about Eknath Shinde as a Thane-based leader. His presence, and you see the list of the MLAs, his presence is not limited only to Thane. His presence is across so many districts of Maharashtra. Ratnagiri, Sindhudurg, Raigad, Nandurbar, Dhule, which are tribal belts of Maharashtra, Nasik, Palghar, you just move. And he is there, even in central Maharashtra, even in western Maharashtra, Aurangabad and Ahmednagar, you see the MLAs with him. He has a lot of presence across Maharashtra. The poster coming up, and with Eknath Shinde, what goes is the muscle power.
Okay.
He's the one who was the big muscle power in Thane, in that particular area. And that muscle power would be the biggest loss that I'm telling you, Sena would be suffering, because Sena is known for it.
And as the famous anecdote goes, that it was Eknath Shinde who during the recent elections was there in the buses. He was the man sitting in the front of the bus, and guess what? That bus, after the voting, very conveniently was taken to Surat on Monday, and it's only on Tuesday morning that Uddhav Thackeray and the Shiv Sena got to know. But the big story coming in at